Welcome to the second video on designing for users, user-centered design. You remember we followed through on this idea of a face mask solution because that's what we found a need for and a market for. Everyone wears face masks, and there's going to be a continued need for them in the marketplace. The purpose of this video is to just continue on and to show you how during the design stage we can really keep and maintain a focus on the user. So you remember last time we got through to drawing up some options, and then now we're ready to cut those out on the laser cutter and try them out. And you remember also we found out from investigating that we couldn't cut neoprene in the laser cutter, so it wasn't possible. So now we need to sort of keep moving into the second stage, if you like, or continue our design process. So you'll see here I used felt instead of, so I've changed materials because of the fact that we can't cut on the laser cutter. And so we've cut one of the shapes out, this shape here at the bottom, but we've got a real problem with the nose and the molding potential here. So we put it back on the customer. We also found some other issues as well. So we found that the material is quite itchy and felt, and so it probably can't be worn for long periods of time. It would need some sort of lining on the inside. We had some problems with the size as well. I had copied the sizes off a smaller sort of face mask, so we need to get into some ergonomics again and measure people and find out what are the standard measurements. But we need to remember that we really do need to communicate with the user. We need to test them out. We need to check whether they like it, and we'll look at a little bit of colors and how the following slides will just see us looking at how we can look at colors, test for size, usability, and all those sorts of things. Okay, so the other thing was we also found there around the nose, it didn't fit around the nose very well. So we go back to the drawing board and we look at materials. We look at the fact that most masks have this small thin piece of aluminium or wire, and it's moldable, so you can push it and physically push it around the nose. So this is an example from Alibaba. You can buy these things, or you can just cut them up. One thing I thought maybe we could use the little like cable ties that you can buy. So we're looking at changing materials, adjusting our materials, adding to the design in different ways. We really need to worry about anthrometrics and sizing and testing. And if you look at these fairly carefully, you'll see that I've had to split this one down the middle and expand it because it was too small, even for a child. And also the part here going up was too high on the nose. In fact, it was actually probably should be the bottom of the mask, and but it's not coming in underneath the chin because it's not got any sort of foldable parts there. So we need to focus on that still. You know, how do we get the face mask molded? Should I start to investigate elastic slides and find out how those ties work? Can I glue or stitch these things together? How would I glue it? I need to test that. So I did a test with some PVA and some on the felt, and what materials are used for filtration. Can we buy those thin materials and put a double layer in there or something? So if we look and continue here, we made one out of neoprene here. We cut this out by hand, and just to play around a little bit, we've put straightened a paper clip out and poked some holes in there, and then we can get now a better fit around the nose. But we've still got this issue around the bottom here, and if it was on a bigger person, it fit a little bit better because it's stretched a little bit more. So we started to think a little bit more about, all right, well, what can we do to this design? Okay, so we need to actually, and can we make a double layer mask to make it better so that it's actually you know, doing its job. So maybe the idea of we need to stop the constant waste of surgical masks, and maybe we can we could even cut up a surgical mask and put it there and then put it as a second layer. See how I put that bit over the top of this one here? So the inner part actually stops the germs. The outer part is the part that's against the skin, and so it feels nicely. It feels a lot better against the skin. So it's only really by making, and sort of really want to sort of finish off here, if you like, on this. I'll show you a couple more pictures, but it's really only by making and by disassembling products that we really start to understand how things work. And your designs, we want them to be looking feasible. And so to get designs to look feasible, we need to actually test them as we go against our user. And if you can show evidence of that as we're going, it really does make a difference. So here's another version of a felt mask that we've just knocked up, just made, and I've glued down that edge there and stapled that just until the glue holds, and then put it on. And you can see here it's got two different colors, so we're starting to test some different ideas about color, etc., and get some different ideas going. So I hope that you find this helpful in some way, and that as you make your user-centered design articles, you can maintain that constant and steady focus on the user and what the user needs, and meeting that. All right, thank you for listening, and continue your work. Thank you.